Hi, you're welcome to Conversation with Coach Jane Austen. In this series, we are looking at effective intimacy framework for couples. Yeah. So I'm going to be sharing with you how you can have a longer sex life. Okay, beyond last and longer, but effective sex framework that will make your sex life to be very, very amazing. Okay, and I'm going to just take you to through a few principles that will make that work out for you. Number one, do not ignore the principle of desire to have sex with your spouse. Number two, do not ignore the principle of amending broken altars. Always apologize to your spouse whenever you hurt them. The next one is do not ignore the principle of effective communication. Yes, tell your spouse, can we have time together today? And okay, the next one is that do not ignore the principle of preparing and planning towards that sex at the time. And that one is that do not ignore the principle of environment. Set up a good environment that will evoke positive images or imageries in the mind of your spouse. The next one is that do not ignore the principle of consent, which allows your spouse to give consent. Don't force yourself to your spouse. It's very wrong. It's very, very wrong. All right. The next one is that do not ignore the principle of hygiene. Yeah, always make sure you perfume yourself, take yourself. That's why it should be planned. Don't take your spouse on her way. She has not bathed. She's still trying to put things in order. No, please. All right, do not ignore that. The next one is that do not ignore the principle of first thing first. This is very important. The principle of first thing first. Okay, take for instance, I'm going to take you to a framework where you want to have sex with your wife. You consider it as though you are in a church. The first thing is that you sweep the church, you arrange the chairs, then you now set the pulpit, then you now start taking opening prayer, then you now start taking worship, you start taking praise. All those ones are systems that keeps the atmosphere saturated for the Holy Ghost to be able to operate. So if you bring this system to your sex life, what do you need to do to get your wife fixed or your spouse, build them up gradually until they get to the climax where they can't resist? Number one, you have to apply the principles I've mentioned. Of course, you also the principle of appraisal, welcoming, foreplay, step-by-step foreplay, from one style of foreplay to the other, considering your spouse's love language and their turn-on button. Okay, considering their love language and their turn-on button. Okay, you have to ensure that step-by-step you're following your spouse, watching them, and how their reaction, how they're keying in, be communicating what I'm doing. Are you okay with it? Do you love the way I'm doing it? And not you're talking. You're not deaf and you're not dumb. Don't give your mouth like this. You're having so no. You're not deaf and dumb. You're talking. Sweetheart, are you okay? Are you flowing with me? Both of you should communicate. It's a koinonia. Yeah, it's me to you. It's a feedback. The feedback, we are talking, we are going on step by step until the point where you both the system, because this flesh is thick, it's like jacket. And the mind system is always loaded with too many things. So it takes this gradual process to key in and build up your spouse, to bringing their mind and their attention back to you. Both of you, is a mutual thing. It's something you agree to serve. Both of you have the mind. I have the mind to serve, and he has the mind to serve. So this is how it's supposed to be. And at the end of the day, this you cannot miss. There's a place where you get in. It becomes like the framework of the Holy of Holies in the Bible, where the priest will have to move from the outer court to the inner court, to the most holy place, then to the Holy of Holies. It's a framework. It's step by step. And this comes from one romance, one positive affirmation, one appraisal, one encouragement. What is gradually, at the end of the day, the fire will come. The fire will come so strong that you will surprise. And at the end of the day, what you've succeeded in doing to your spouse is that you have created a long-lasting impression in their mind that you are there and that you care. And then after the whole deal, that impression still goes. Is that impression stays. It is the impression that will call you in another day because you want to have that experience. That same experience, you want to have it again because the one you had yesterday was powerful. And you want to do the same principle you apply to get it. And so by doing that, you are systematically taking your life to the next level, year by year, month to month, week by week. And before you know what, you have a structure that will set up your system to autopilot. And then you get to know that you can't get to this climax until you get this done. And so you are compelled to ensure that, because this is what you want to achieve. You have a goal you want to achieve in your sex life. So you are compelled to ensure that you follow this system one step after the other.